I'm Rafael from Wealthy Spain, helping you move to Spain smoothly and easily without dealing with the bureaucracy. What is the best visa or long-term residency permit that you can get in the European Union or in the Schengen area specifically for you to be able to move to Europe if you have a high income, high savings, retirement account, investments, and you are a Westerner, for example, from the US, from Canada, or even from Latin America as well, from the UK, or really from any other developed country. We're going to be talking about the Spanish Digital Nomad Visa. The visa and the residency permit that essentially replaces the golden visa that Spain used to have. Spanish Digital Nomad Visa essentially is the best visa because it doesn't require you to live in Spain all the time. There are no residency requirements for you to be able to renew that residency permit. It could essentially function as a Plan B residency to your current life. Let's say that you have a business in London. You're a UK citizen, no longer part of the EU, and you want to be able to move to Spain at some point in the future. You don't want to go through the new EES system, the entry-exit system that is causing chaos all over Schengen airports, and you want to be able to enter Europe whenever you like. Maybe in the future you move to Spain, maybe you retire in Spain. Maybe your kids want to study somewhere in Europe, you want to give them that opportunity. Then the Digital Nomad Visa, all you essentially need to do is show that you make income above roughly 3,000 euros per month, from 2,700 to 2,850 euros or more, let's say 4,000, 5,000 euros per month, and you get a 3-year residency permit. That residency permit allows you to live in Spain long term if you decide to do that, but you don't need to. So you can continue your business in London or in Miami or anywhere and have that always available to you if you want to move to Spain in the future. Every 3 years or after those three initial years, you renew it, you get some more years, and then you continue renewing it indefinitely as long as you continue to meet the criteria. You don't need to buy a property and no other investments are required. For example, with the golden visa, you had to buy a property, 500,000 euros or more. Some people did that. The law is now closed, and now this essentially replaces that visa. So if you don't want to uproot your entire life, if you're not ready to move anywhere right now, but you still want to have the option, then this one works out very well. What I also love about the Digital Nomad Visa is that you can do it directly in Spain. If you're in the United States right now, you could essentially, technically, move to Spain tomorrow because you have 90 days out of every 180 days in the Schengen area. You could take a flight to Spain tomorrow. You get 90 days if you haven't been traveling to Europe before. And in those 90 days, process your Digital Nomad Visa as long as you have the documents required. The processing timeline that they have to give you a response is 20 business days, essentially a month. So if you get 90 days and you get a response within 30 days, or if you get no response, you get approved, and then you get your Digital Nomad Visa and you can essentially continue living in Spain with your residency permit or travel somewhere else in the Schengen area as well. So it's a very quick process compared to, for example, Portugal, which takes in some cases multiple years to get a residency permit. Italy or Greece is taking 6 months, 12 months plus. Other places like Poland is over 2 years. In some cases, if you want to move somewhere in Europe with great weather, great people, great community, great quality of life, great food, overall many benefits. Obviously, crime is increasing in some areas. I'm not going to say that it's an amazing, spotless place to live. There are some problems. Taxes are also very high in most cases, but it is a great alternative to other European destinations that just take too long, are too much of a hassle, and don't respect you as a high earner or as a high investment capable individual. Why a lot of clients, specifically from our company, I run a company called Wealthy Expat. We help wealthy individuals from all over the world pick the best place for them. Now we're starting this new project of Wealthy Spain. Why they specifically choose Spain compared to other destinations? Because obviously Spain has high taxes, has bureaucracy, although the bureaucracy is very specific. If you decide to go through the Digital Nomad Visa route, then you won't have to deal with much of the bureaucracy and you can do it through us and we'll deal with the entire process. Why do they actually choose Spain? it's also because of the ease of making friends, of networking, of finding communities of other, for example, Americans or Brits or investors. If you want to find high-level people, specifically in a luxurious environment, you can go to somewhere like Marbella in Costa del Sol, or many places in Costa del Sol. Beautiful beaches, luxurious lifestyle. People are flashing their Ferraris and Lamborghinis, although obviously you have to be careful with some crime in some areas, some home invasions as well. But you can find those pockets of people that come from your country if you don't want to start learning Spanish right away, if you don't want to make Spanish friends right away, although I would recommend it to learn Spanish, to integrate into the local culture, to make local friends, to go to local events, to meetup groups and so on. It is very easy to form your own community. That is what I've personally experienced. That is what I've seen a lot of my clients experience. Even if they don't speak Spanish, they can easily find friends, network, go to co-working spaces, go to some, for example, property events or yachting events or private jet events, and they can easily make friends and have that community feel that it's much harder to build in other places like Greece or more northern destinations in Europe, or for example in Asia, or even in Latin America, where it's a lot harder to make friends and a lot harder to build that community that you need in a new country. How the process actually works in practice for you to apply for this DNV, stop saying digital nomad visa. Let's say you're a US citizen from Atlanta or from New York or wherever. You have a US LLC or a US company that's been running for at least 1 year, and that US company pays you a salary of $5,000 per month, $10,000 per month. Remember that 2,800 or 3,000 euro mark. Remember that the euro is not 1-to-1 to the dollar, it's more powerful. Right now, let's say it pays you $10,000 per month as a salary. That salary does not depend on you being in the United States. You can do it remotely. You would essentially qualify. I've had clients apply with UAE companies in Dubai, with UK companies, with Canadian companies, with Singaporean companies. As long as you get a salary or payments from that company and you establish that you make more than that $3,000 per month, it is a very, very straightforward process as long as you don't have a criminal record or any personal profile issues in the past, any huge lawsuits, anything like that. It is one of those residency permits that if you're a Westerner, you are going to get approved 99.9% of the cases. And then after you get approved, it's easy to renew, it's easy to live in Spain. And then if you want to get permanent residency after 5 years while actually living in Spain, also straightforward, and citizenship after 10 years of living in Spain and speaking the language. And for those people that actually have some, for example, Latino ancestry or Filipino ancestry, let's say you're an American, but your parents are from Argentina, then you would be happy to know that you're an Argentinian citizen by descent. You're actually Argentinian because your parents are Argentinian or you were born somewhere in Latin America. You can apply for citizenship after 2 years of having the digital nomad visa in Spain. And you don't even have to do a Spanish language test because there's plenty of, for example, sons or daughters of Mexicans in the United States that don't even speak much Spanish, but you are Mexican by descent. You get your Mexican passport, you go to Spain, you apply for the digital nomad visa. After 2 years, you apply for citizenship and you wait 1 more year to actually get your Spanish passport. It is really the best visa for those wealthy individuals in the West to apply for in Europe. I did it, I highly recommend it, or actually I did the golden visa, but essentially very similar. I highly recommend it for you. Now that you know the best visa, what about the reasons to actually pick Spain? Because there's a lot of negatives, some crime, taxes, some cities are not that great to live in. Why should you pick Spain as your destination? Check out this video right here, why wealthy Westerners are choosing Spain over many other countries. Check out the reasons here.